What's up my loves? My name is Paige, this is Pages with Paige, and today we're going to be doing my Mythothon explanation. I will leave a link to all the information about Mythothon in the description box below. This was created by Louise from Fox Fairy Tales, the blog, and I'll leave a link to their blog and the Twitter below. This is round 5 of the readathon and it's based off the Odyssey. We have our little map and it just tells us the different areas in which we can go. We can jump over, we don't have to read them in order, but it does go 1 to 14. I'm really inspired by this and I was really happy when I realized that most of the books that I was planning on reading will fit in as well. If you haven't seen, I'll leave a link to Not Safe for Workathon's explanation, which was yesterday, the Magical Readathon, which was last week, and then Twister and Bookopalathon Chooses My TBR, which was all of the explanations of everything, but it got really messy and I didn't actually talk through the Mythothon readathon. I just briefly mentioned it. If there are any others you would like to see before the end of the month, let me know. I have the Because We Can readathon, Fall Into Reading-a-thon and Demon-a-thon that I am also trying to participate in. I have TBRs of literally, it's all the same fucking 15 books over the shop. So I have those laid out, but it's literally like 3 books to double up throughout the weeks. With this particular one, it's running for the entire month, so I had a lot more flexibility in being able to fit things in, and yeah, so there's 14 prompts, so let's dive in. The first is Troy. Read a book from a country that's not your own. I'm going with Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is set at Yale, and that's definitely not in Australia. Technically it counts. I did want to be a little bit more diverse, but just with the way that the prompts fell, I was glad to be able to fit this in. I'm not going to mention all the buddy reads that I'm doing these for because there's a lot and I've already spoken about them in 3 other videos. Oh, and I apologize for my horrible pronunciation, like hands down, shocking. The next is Psychones. Read a book about a villain, and I'm going with Perfume by Patrick Sukind. It says the story of a murderer, so I'm going to assume it's about a villain. Please let me have this. The next is Cyclops. Read a book you know nothing about, and I'm going with The Bookbinder's Daughter by Jessica Thorne because I got this as an ARC, but I really don't know too much about it, and I'm just very curious to get to it. Next is The Island of Akalia, and that is to read not the first in a series, so I'm going with Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the second in the Lunar Chronicles series. The next is Lastragonians. Read a book that has food in the title or on the cover. Using this across all 4 readathons that this is a prompt for. So All the Bad Apples has food on the cover and in the title. The next is Circe. Read a book with a protagonist who has a skill, and I'm going with The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. Althea is a skilled sailor, as well as other people having a variety of different, more physical skills than magical abilities, but then you also have the Raymile traders and they have skills and abilities, so I'm gonna count this. It's a bit of an odd choice, but I think it actually really works. Next is Tereus and the Land of the Dead. That was so wrong. Read a book that you're going to learn something from, and I'm going with Heroes by Stephen Fry. Obviously you don't have to have mythology based to fulfill this readathon, but I really wanted to, and I feel like I'm going to learn a lot about the heroes, and maybe whilst listening to his pronunciation actually how to say them. Next is Circe again, because in the story they go back to Circe. Return to a book and reread it. So for me, I'm going with The City of Bryce by S.A. Chakraborty. I got like, I don't know how many pages. It wasn't far in, but it wasn't like halfway through it. I would have kept going if that was the case. I think it was about maybe 70 to 100 pages. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, reread that section and read it through. Am I cheating because it's not a technical reread of a story that I've fully consumed? Yes. Do I care? Not in the slightest. So this is what I'm going to go back, reread and continue on with. The next is Siren, a book that calls to you, and obviously Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I am so excited for this. I have many a hype, and I can't wait to dive into what is going to hopefully be a glorious Hades and Persephone retelling. Next is Charabias and Scylla. Flip a coin, and for that I went with heads for This Poison Heart, tails was for Under the Whispering Door, and I got heads, so I'm reading This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. I'm really excited to get to this. The next is Threnaica. I don't know how to pronounce half of these. I'm so sorry. I just am fascinated, but I don't know pronunciations. It's never been a strong point. But that's to read a book with an animal on the cover, same as Not Safe for Workathon, and I think one other readathon, Torch Against the Night, animal. Then Calypso, a book recommended by a friend, and I'm going with Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Eva from Pretty Purple Polka Dots has recommended this. It was chosen for Beckerac in my Bookathon, so yeah, I'm definitely counting this and I'm very, very keen. The next is Facia, a book featuring royalty, and I'm going with She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. I believe this is the imagining of the Ming Dynasty's first emperor, so I'm assuming it features royalty in some way. And the last prompt is Ithaca, read a book that you got for free, and for that I'm going with Before We Were Blue by E.J. Schwartz, because this is an arc, I got it for free. So yes, quite a few of these would have worked for that, but I'm just going with that one. And there is also the group book 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. I'm very keen to get to this. However, with the way that my TBR is, I don't know if I will, but I still wanted to mention it, that it's a possibility. A very, very, very slim possibility, but if you were interested in picking it up this month, this readathon is a nice reason to as well. I legitimately, there we go, can't fit them all in frame. So these are the books that I want to read for Mythothon. Let me know in the comments, are you now interested in participating in Mythothon? I'm sure, like, if you wanted to message me, I could help you sort out your TBR to get as many of these fulfilled as possible, but that's what I'm aiming for. God knows if I will actually be able to achieve this. We're doing well so far. I'm keeping on track, powering through. I'm going insane, but it's fine. But yeah, let me know what would be your siren. What's a book that's calling to you? If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!